Hello guys, and thank you so much for joining us. We're here at the Atlanta Harvest Farmers Market, and we're meeting with Eliyahu Israel. And he's going to tell us a little bit about how they got started, what their passion is, and their vision for the community. So Eliyahu, can you tell us how you got started, please?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for coming out here and joining us here at Atlanta Harvest. Atlanta Harvest is Metro Atlanta's first Black-owned grocery store. That's really our plans. Right now we've got a tent up because we've been waiting to build an actual barn where we can have an enclosed store. So really the plan is to have a 60 by 60 store, pretty much like a grandiose spot where you can buy locally produced, locally made fruits and vegetables and value-added products, all types of things that you can get from businesses all across Georgia. It's important to us that we share with the community local products that are made with love. You know, we're not talking about products that you can just freely get at Kroger or Walmart, things that are coming from halfway across the country. We want things that are made here by hands and people that you can see and talk to.
Right.
And so in conjunction with the farm stand, we also have a farm across the way so that you can see the food that's being produced here.
Yeah.
You can talk to us about how we grow the food, what the processes are, and about all the products that are here. I have personal relationships with all the companies that we have inside the store so that I can actually answer questions when people have them. It's important to us to enrich the community and to teach them about why eating local is so good for you, why it's good for our health, for our physical health, for our spiritual and our mental health. It's not only just about what we eat, it's about the community that we have, it's about the people that we buy from and the people that we support with whatever means that we have. And so my hopes is not only that we can do this, but also inspire others to do the same. In conjunction with farming, we also teach classes. We have a nonprofit where we teach people how to grow food, how to manage agricultural systems, how to manage business systems, how to do life skills. And that's called Cultivating Humanity.
Yes.
And we hope that, I can ask him now.
No, you good.
You sure? Okay. And we hope that by taking these classes and learning these things, people can go out and do these things for themselves. Self-sufficiency is a goal that many people have, especially now during COVID, in hopes that they can enrich their families and allow them to do things that are semi-off-grid. And while we're not trying to teach people how to be totally off-grid, we want to show people that it's pretty easy in order to establish something for yourself, in order to have something that you can rely on and not having to rely on the bigger system.
That's wonderful. I'm so excited for you guys. Oh wow, guys. So if you haven't heard of Atlanta Harvest, come out and meet them at Atlanta Harvest. Can you tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So our address is 3529 Amble Block Road in Ellenwood. You can find us if you look up on Google Maps or Waze or any kind of navigation app. You can find us if you type in Atlanta Harvest. We're also on social media. So on Facebook, it's Atlanta Harvest, and on Instagram, it's also Atlanta Harvest.
Wonderful.
Kind of there, yeah.
Wonderful. And Eliyahu is going to give us a tour, guys, of the wonderful garden that they have here. They've been working really hard here, and we're going to take a tour of the vegetables and see what they have grown. All right, guys. So we are actually in the garden. And Eliyahu is going to tell us a little bit about gardening and what they're doing here at Atlanta Harvest. Eliyahu?
So what we've got here is probably about 40% of the entire farm bill. And we'll see a little later, in between our sections of beds, there's large spaces so that we can plant fruit trees. We'll have in total over 300 raised beds and over 200 fruit trees, in addition to the fruit trees that we already have currently. So this is a big muscadine vine, muscadine scuppernong. We've got pear trees, apple trees, peach trees, and then a bunch of wild plants and herbs in the forest that we've discovered in the time that we've been here. The section that we're in right now is holding some eggplant and squash and bell peppers. And bell peppers and eggplant and squash. And then over there is tomatoes. And so, with our experience, we've been farming actually for about 10 years. Originally, when my dad and I moved down here from up north, we started a farm in Middle Georgia, in Dublin, or right outside of Dublin, if anybody knows.
Yes, I know that.
That area. And we started it with the intention of having the ability to control our food source, and also to help the families that we were in connection with to learn how to farm and to eat healthy foods. And so having basic knowledge of growing food back when we were up north, being really interested in aquaponics and hydroponics, we just had the basic knowledge of how to farm. So that doesn't mean that when we came down here, we were just right out the gate producing tons of food. But now I can say that we are successfully year to year farm maybe about 2,000 pounds of food a week or so, 2,000 to 2,500 pounds of food, and it'll only increase by this area here. So we follow different procedures and different routes in order for production. That allow us to understand how to do row crops and also raised bed gardening, urban farming, and so that we can teach that to people who have, a little space in their backyards and want to do a little bit of what we're doing. They've got a great source of study here and means for education, and it'd be perfect for us to not only have our classes but also to teach kids and do field trips, which we used to do at our old location, and for people to just come out here and be able to see and not feeling so daunting as having a 300-foot row.
Right, exactly.
But one of the reasons why we're able to have so much food is because we farm on about 20 acres down south, and we've got all this space here in conjunction with us working with other farmers in and around Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, and Middle Georgia. And so we just try to keep the earth full and take care of it as best as we can, and the earth takes care of us. We understand regenerative farming. We understand sustainable farming, and that allows us to understand soil health so that as we take from the plants, we give back to the soil so that we can keep a cycle going with healthy food, with nutrient-rich food, with nutrient-dense food, that people can actually feel the difference. When you eat something that comes, that's been weeks after it's been picked off the plant, you don't get the same nutrient benefits, you don't get the same taste, the quality of the food doesn't compare. And so being able to see where the food is grown, being able to pick it, and being able to consume it at the same time, or in the same time span, allows us to really see why the work that we're doing is important. Cool, so in this bed we've got okra, and I wanted to demonstrate our irrigation methods. Right here we do a drip tape irrigation. For many of you who do gardening who might be familiar with drip tape, it's a very efficient and economical way to irrigate raised beds, mostly because it directly lays water where the plants are. And with that, not using a sprinkler, you don't waste a lot of water. The pressure on this system is very low, which means that it can be run from a house hose, a water system that comes out of a spigot on the side of your house. Really, the public water has a lot of pressure. This narrows the pressure down so that you don't use a lot of water, and it doesn't take long to feed your plants. And so we use this, and we have this all throughout the garden. When we first got here, we laid down pipe underneath the ground and irrigated the entire property so that every space where there's a bed can be easy access for irrigation. And that's primarily how we do this here. It's really the best way. We do it down south too, as opposed to having big sprinklers. But we've had a lot of experience with different irrigation types, and so this is a great way, especially when you've got airy soil that has great water retention. And so the way that we build up our beds are on a foundation of wood chips, with compost and fertilizer and soil and naturally occurring soil that we've gathered from the property in order to make a combination that is not only decomposing and feeding itself, but also has great water retention. So that's
wonderful. And can you tell us what is this made out of?
Yeah, so this is a PVC that you can get at Walmart, Lowe's. We use PVC, pressure-treated PVC, so that you can run water through it. We do 1 inch supply to 3/4 inch that goes into the supply line for the drip tape, and then directly to the drip tape that goes to the plants.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Cool. Wonderful.
And this is all wood that we've milled on the property.
Oh, wow.
So we have our own sawmill, we mill our own wood, we gather and create our own compost, and we make our blends ourselves. This is all made from scratch. in the effort to teach people about how they can run a sustainable system.
Yeah.
And so this is all raw wood. We just cut the slabs and put them down. This will last maybe about 2 to 3 years. This is pine, which is better better dealing with insects, has better insect repellent, natural insect repellent than something like oak.
Thank you guys for joining us. We are here at the farm and grocery store at Atlanta Harvest with Eliyahu, Israel. And again, if you guys want to support him, we're right here on Amble Block Road in Ellenwood, Georgia.
Yes, thank you so much for your time and for your attention. We would love to see you all and be able to give you some good food that you can trust from people that you can talk to.
Yes. All right, until next time. See you guys.
For your health be renewed, you gotta take control. To see a breakthrough, you're only one step away from a life made better. A life made better. A life made better.